Hey guys, Thomas from Team Soccer also coming at you with a Witchcrafter deck profile for April 2019. This deck was hard to get because a lot of people don't have Witchcrafter creations because, a lot of people aren't buying Infinity Chasers, but this is a really fun deck to play. So, yeah, also, subscribe if you're not already, and I would love to see maybe 7-8 likes on this video. Anyway, I'm just going to get right into it, and sorry if I butcher some of these names. Witchcrafter Schemata. So all the level 4s or under actually have a quick effect where you can tribute them like Lone Fire Blossom, discard a spell, and special summon any Witchcrafter from the deck, right? And that's a quick effect, right? And then they all have effects in Graveyard. So what Schemata does, and she's the best in my opinion, is when she's in grave, banish it, and then you could send one Witchcrafter card from your deck to your grave. So you want to send like a spell like Curation because all the spell cards in the deck, Witchcrafter spell cards, they come back either to the field or your hand if you did not use them. So if there's something you really need, you send it to the graveyard, and since you didn't use it at your end phase, you will get that back to your hand. Or it will be placed on the field. So she's a really good card. She's also 1800, so yeah. 3, Witchcrafter Patole. She's really good as well. What she does is she has the same Lone Fire Blossom effect. The only difference is if you have no cards in your hand, you could banish this card from your graveyard to add one Witchcrafter card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's pretty good. You have to have no cards, sadly. She would have been a bit better if she didn't. I feel like, again, this deck isn't competitive, but it is very fun. And I just feel like the deck just needs a little bit boost because it is getting more support in Dark Neo Storm, I believe. Or Rising Rampage, one of the two. So, 2 Witchcrafter Patole. She's not as good, but again, she has the Lone Fire effect, but when she's in graveyard, banish her to draw one card, and then you have to discard one Witchcrafter card. And if you don't, you have to banish your entire hand. If you're discarding a spell that you don't want to use and you'll get it back at the end phase, that's fine. I guess it's fine because technically a +1, but like, I just wish it was a little bit better. She's definitely okay though. But yeah, that's basically the generic ones. That's how most people run those. So, Witchcrafter Madame Ver, I only played one, but she's amazing. So what she does, right, is she's the bread and butter of the deck, where you special summon her off, the quick effects of these guys, and you can reveal at damage step any number of spells in your hand of a different name, and your spellcaster monster, right? So if you decide to run this with, prophecies or whatever, right, it's not just Witchcrafters, it is spellcasters, will gain 1,000 attack for each revealed spell. You will be gathering a lot of spell cards in your hand since they'll be coming back from the graveyard to your hand during the end phase. So, if she attacks or one of the other ones, right? Let's just say Ver for this instance, 1,000 attack, 2,800 defense. And again, this is for if they attack a defense monster too. You can have her gain, 7,000 attack if you really want, and be 8k if you have 7 spell cards. I usually get her up to like 5-6k when I play, which is, good enough. So, but she also, once per turn, you can actually discard a spell card and negate the effects of all face-up monsters on your opponent's side of the field. So if they normal summon, let's just say Trickstar Candina, right, and while I get the search, you can activate its effect, discard a spell card, and negate it, right? And, or if they have like a bunch of Colossus on field, you can negate all their effects. Stuff like that. So she's an amazing card. She's definitely your turn 1 play. You only play one because you do not want to draw her. If you draw her, it's really going to suck. So, and if she gets banished, that sucks as well. But I've never really had that problem. If I ever do, then I will start playing 2. So you can play 2 if you want. I prefer 1, and I'm still playtesting this deck a little bit. So whatever floats your boat. Also, there will be a Shadal Shadal Witchcrafter deck profile, so keep an eye out for that and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Amazing synergy, especially with Ver's, damage step effect. So then we have 1 Hind and 1 Edel. These cards are definitely good. So what Hind does is it's a quick effect, right? During either opponent's turn, you could discard a spell card, and you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. So yeah. And then your opponent cannot target any other spellcaster monsters you control with card effects, right? It also has to be a face-up card. I was just making sure. Again, these cards are definitely kind of new to me. So, Witchcrafter Edel, basically, you could special summon cards from, by discarding spell, you could special summon a Witchcrafter monster from your hand. So you could special summon Ver, or I'd rather discard Ver and Reborn her, but you do have to play her. She's pretty decent, too. But, Hind and Ver are definitely the ones you want to get out first. And then just to top it off, we do play 3 Ash. I mean, she's pretty good, especially if you're drawing a lot. You know, having one, you're always gonna have an extra Ash. Really good card. It kills this deck though. So if they have Ash and they Ash something, you're down basically 2 cards. So yeah, I really wish this deck wasn't so fucked up by Ash. And then we're gonna have the spicy tech before I get into the actual Witchcrafter spell cards, which is Malifaux's Fusion. So everyone knows how this is used in like Sky Strikers, all that. Basically, you can pitch this as cost, right? Because you have to pitch spell cards. Sometimes you don't want to pitch them, right? Because you want to activate them, right? And if you activate them, you won't get them during end phase. But if you pitch this, put it back in the deck, draw cards. So you pay cost, and you know you'll still have another card in your hand. So they're really good in multiple. I've never had them clog at 3 because I know that's what you guys are thinking, right? If you playtest this, unless you maybe have 2 beginning hand, or you maybe top deck it, you're not going to see this clog. I really like this card. I won't shorten it down. Also, I know I said this in the beginning video, but every like helps. So if you can leave a like and like share this video. Also, I'll have my Twitter in the description. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, that'd be cool. 3 Witchcraft Creation. The only thing I really don't like about this card is it's not search a witchcraft card. It's a witchcraft monster, right? By the way, they're called Witchcrafters, but sometimes I say witchcraft. So basically, you get to search a witchcraft card, right, from your deck to your hand. So you know you get basically your starting pieces, and then if you haven't used this card this turn, it'll come and it's in your graveyard. You'll get it back during end phase, right? So during end phase, the way this works is you're usually gonna get like 3-4 spells from your grave. So that's really nice, right? And again, if they're used for like effects like discard or anything, you'll still get them back. 3 Witchcrafter Holiday. This is very simple. This is just Monster Reborn. It's freaking great. So, what's cool? And if you could, so yeah, it's just a Reborn. Just making sure. But yeah, you have to play 3 because you want to get your Ver, you want to get your Heine, right? You really don't want those in hand, right? 2 Scroll. And then 1 Buy Street. Some people are going to say you should run 2 Buy Street and 1 Scroll. I'm playtesting. I'm not too sure exactly how I feel with 2 Scroll, but I do like 2 Scroll. So what these cards do, so I'm going to go over Buy Street first. If your Witchcrafter is basically destroyed by your opponents by battle or card effect, it's not destroyed once per turn. But you do not get to choose, I believe. It just saves the first destruction. So if they run over something, right, you can't say, oh, I won't say that. It'll automatically be saved. Right, and then if its effect wasn't activated, right, you can this turn and it's in your graveyard. You could put it back onto the field, not your hand, but onto the field, and you can also send it to grave as cost for discarding a spell if you need to. So I really like that part. Buy Street is basically the same thing as I just said, except its effect to save that's not it. When a Witchcrafter monster, sadly it's not a spellcaster, but I get why they didn't make it generic. It would be definitely really good if it was generic in other spellcaster decks, but. So if your Witchcrafter monster destroys a monster by battle, sadly it's not just by battle or card effect. That would be really cool if you could just pop something with Heine and draw. But if it destroys something by battle, you get to draw a card. Some people like to play 1, I like to play 2, but I might switch it up. We play 1 Drapings. Drapings is a good card, it's just nobody's playing Traps. That's the only reason I'm not playing it. Basically it's Giant Trunade, right? Really good card. I would play 2 if the meta called it. So if you want to play 2, that's fine. It also depends on your locals. If you're playing this at locals, I don't suggest the YCS, but hey, it'll be fun. So I do have a competitive Shaddoll Witchcrafter deck coming out soon. So, and then 3 Witchcraft Collaboration. This card is actually really good. People don't give it enough credit. So your Witchcrafter can attack twice, right? So that's definitely really good because the Ver thing holds onto damage step, right? So let's say you increase your Heine by 4,000 attack, right? You have a 64 beater that can attack twice. So that's great, right? And, it comes back, obviously you hadn't used it, but your opponent cannot activate effects until cards until end of the damage step. Right? Yeah, end of the damage step. It can activate spells or traps. So it kind of has that Ancient Gear effect. So if that was any card effects, again, I feel like this deck could have been really good if they just buffed every card a little bit. Then we have 3 Pot of Extravagance. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, that's a construct, idiot. I get it. I do not have 3 Extravagance, and I hate proxying. Just I really want to put up this deck profile. You don't use your extra deck ever. I'm not even going to show an extra deck in this deck profile. put whatever you want in. If you want to put Cerberus and, like, you know, the Nightmare core, just in case, that's fine. But with playtesting, I've just never needed it. I've never needed it. This is just free. And, you know, worst case scenario, it gets rid of their Ash because you do not want to be Ashed on your normal summon when you tribute. Because your field's going to be, you're going to have one spell engrave, right, that you'll probably get back, so that's fine. But, you know, it basically, Ash will kill you, so, and you have to activate this first, and they're going to Ash that, so that's really good. 3 Spellcaster Village of the Spellcasters, right? Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Blech, I can't speak. We all know what this card does. If you control a Spellcaster, your opponent can activate spell cards. And then the 2 Terraforming, right? This card's definitely great. Obviously, you know, so you can negate your opponent's monster effect if you normal summons to search, and you lock them out of spells if you can have this and, like, Ver, right? And then you can go off slowly from there, right? So that's kind of what you need. You really do like to see Secret Village. It's definitely a core part of the deck. And, yeah, so it's fucking good. And then the last 3 cards are the Premature Burials. So, basically, they're just Schemata, right? But as a spell card. If you open up 1 or 2 of these, you could just ditch it for, you know, the effect of a spellcaster. Or you could just have in your hand for, you know, Ver, discard, or, you know, to gain attack or defense, right? But if you really just don't have the cards you need, you might just want to send something. Be like, before you end your turn, you're going to activate this. Send, like, let's say, Creation, or whatever spellcaster, or like the Reborn, whatever card you'll need for next turn. So this is very good. If you don't want to play 3, that's fine. If you guys like to play other cards, but personally, I've been playing this. 3 might be a little too cloggy. I might just put it at 2, but I never had the biggest problem with this. So anyway, guys, that will be the deck. I just want to say, leave a like if you guys enjoyed. This deck is really fun. If you want to play this personally and it's a little too pricey, don't pick it up right now. You can pick up the cheap stuff if you really want, right? And definitely, like, pick up the Secret Villages. Those are going to go up. And, you know, budget options for extravagance. But, you know, creations at 30 I think are a little too much. I would only get them at 20 max. So, yeah, leave a like if you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys later.